Hi people, I'm making this wee video for victims of abuse. I say victims because obviously, you know, you've been victimised, but at the same time I'm saying you're overcomers, because I think if you can listen to things like this and listen to even hopeful messages and other testimonies of people just getting this kind of sickness out of your stomach, you know, out of your mind, you really can put it behind you and begin a new life. And that's why I'm saying it's like these people are heroes who are managing to just speak about their abuse. Not only that, do it to help other people. Not only that, do it to be able to have a clean or fresher society and to save other children in the future as well. So really this is a wee video for helping people to overcome this kind of abuse. And you know, I have heard some really terrible stories and also some little stories. I mean, even you know, if you've been a victim of sexual harassment in work, or you know, just people bullying you to try and force you into having sex, this can apply to you as well, because especially when you're young, you know, to be forced into doing something you don't want to do. You know, sex is something that is about love. It's not about stealing from a child or a person. It's about love, and it's supposed to be a lovely thing. Whereas when people are abused as children, very often they have a distorted view of sex, of making love, you know, and they can't enjoy it. And it's such, it really destroys a whole life, you know. But what I'm hoping to be able to do to help people is say, you know, whatever's happened to you, if you can, you know, even write down the basics and then rip that piece of paper up and put it in the bin, and then listen to your favourite song and have your favourite dessert, excuse me, you've done something. You're already an overcomer. It's when you bury it and you say, I'll pretend it didn't happen, that terrible things happen in your mind. You know, personally I became angry. You know, I became very angry at the whole world. Like, the whole world's nasty, you know. And I've seen other people who have just become shells of people. You know, they can't admit when something goes wrong. They can't admit their own faults, because deep down inside they're saying, if I admit that I've done something wrong, or I admit I've made a mistake, then it means that I'm not a good person. I don't know if you can understand what I mean. It's almost like one pain after another just piles on top of the pain that's already there, you know. And it doesn't matter if it's a little bit of abuse or long-term, you know, horrible abuse, you know. And to separate the abuse from the good things that have happened in your life as well, because sometimes, you know, that helped me personally, you know, to think of the abuser and their good points, and then think of the abuse that happened and think of them in a bit of a separate way. Not to be able to forgive the abuser or anything like that. I don't mean it like that. I just mean so that you can personally understand, you know, and outgrow what they've done to you. But I just feel like I know people 50, 60 years old that have maybe been abused as children, and you know, they've carried it and never told anybody. And to me that is one of the saddest situations, because they've probably never lived. They've never maybe enjoyed a childhood. They've never enjoyed that freedom, you know. So to me, even if you're 80 and you've buried abuse, you know, have you ever tried to, you know, write that down and be gone with it? You know, you don't have to tell anyone if you don't want to, but it does help to tell someone, even if it's a stranger or someone on these helplines. You don't have to take their advice. You know, you can just say what happened and ask them not to interrupt you and hang up the phone. You know, like when I spoke about things that happened to me, I felt so brave. I felt brave, and I felt like these things are out of me and not inside me. I felt clean. I didn't feel dirty or bad or anything like that, because it's not you, the victim, that's been, you know, it's bad. It's what's happened to you, you know. And then you can slowly start to rebuild your life and learn. I'd like to be able to write like a booklet, just a simple booklet on steps on how, whether it's a child, a teenager, or an adult, how they can just begin to live again, And I just see so many people rushing about trying to get the latest shoes or, go to the best disco, and that's not what life's about. And sometimes that's because they've been abused and perhaps they don't want to lose their parent, so they think, or their uncle or their partner or whatever, and it's really about separating situations that have happened. And I would really love to be able to help victims of abuse to overcome, and it's literally it's as simple and easy as just taking a step, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or if you've become what do you call them, a transvestite, it doesn't matter. Like I know that some people who have had sex changes and stuff like that they've been abused, and maybe they've been abused by people who are in high places, and they've thought to themselves, well, I'm scum, I'm nothing. And I just want you to know that that is not true. It's just not true. And maybe I've actually met a girl who said, I'm a lesbian because I hate men. And to me, that is just so sad. It is so sad, because maybe the men who have abused her have been abused in their childhoods as well. Some children who are abused go on to abuse. They don't know what they're doing is abuse even. Because some people are bringing up their children to be little monsters. They're not bringing them up to be well-rounded out people, In life, if you have got a giving heart, you will receive that in return. If you go about smiling at everyone, you will eventually receive a smile, If you go about scowling at everyone, you'll get lots of scowls, If you can easily forgive someone who bumps into you in the street and says, watch where you're going, if you can turn around and say, you're right, and you're right, I should have, even if it was their fault, that won't ruin your day, and it might make them say, oh, I'm a grumpy pygmy, I need to stop that, just simple things like that. But I just want to say that no matter how bad the abuse has been, you can puke it out. Do you know that? You can actually puke it out. And I do it when I'm in prayer, or I've did it when I'm in prayer. If anyone's hurting me, or I'm carrying something and my body feels heavy, I'd feel like God's patting me on my back. And if you don't believe in God, you can say to a brother or a family member that you love, ask them to pat you on the back, and as if you're going to burp, and just literally spew it out. And I lie psychologically and just, that's not in me anymore. What they did or what they're doing, that's not in me anymore. And you can see it in your mind's eye. I've puked that out. I've puked them out. I've puked out what they've done. I've puked out the effects of what they've done out of me. So anyway, I just would love to be able to give everybody who's been abused a renewed spirit, because there is so much enjoyment to be had.